Hi guys, so topic natin ngayon, ang exercise natin ngayon is about glands. Okay, so there are different types of glands. The simplest among them is of course a unicellular gland, a cell that is actually capable or functional as a gland. It secretes something. Okay, pwede dyan ang goblet cells. We have an example of goblet cells ating mga tubular organs that is capable of secreting mucus. Such example is ang mga tubular organs matatagpo. Ang tubular organ na duodenum. Okay? So, ang duodenum, of course, ay may lining epithelium. Okay? So, it is a columnar epithelium. And interspersed along this epithelia are cells that is producing mucus. Primarily producing mucus. As I've told you in our previous discussion, mucus paint is not staining. So we can actually see goblet cells as faint spaces in the epithelia. Okay? So, kaya nga mukha siyang goblet. Mukha siyang goblet. It is a space. Makikita lamang natin siya na kulay puti sa lining epithelium. If there is a space in the lining epithelia, that is a goblet cell. Okay, as it does not take up stain. Okay, that is a unicellular gland. Now, let's discuss a multicellular gland. This has been discussed in the lecture. So, discuss, dumiretso na tayo sa individual structures ng isang multicellular gland. A multicellular gland must have a secretory unit. Okay, na-discuss na din natin to kasi pinakita ko na din sa inyo sa epithelia, di ba? A secretory unit and a duct, DUCT. Okay? A secretory unit, ang tawag natin dyan ay mga adenomers. Okay? Oh, sorry. Kung mapapansin nyo dito sa duodenum, kakaunti lang yung kanilang goblet cell. Now, let's put another organ na may mga goblet cells. Such as the large intestines. Almost all of its mucosa is interspersed with goblet cells. Yung lahat na yan, tingnan natin siya under HPO. All of them are goblet cells. So this large intestines is actually capable of secreting more mucus than that of the duodenum. As it might suggest, it would facilitate defecation, di ba? Kung walang mucus na nasisikret, mas nahihirapan mag-defecate ang animals. Now, if you are really observant at nakikita nyo ang inyong mga animals, if it has a formed stool, glistening siya kapag nilalabas ng animal or ng pet ninyo. Kasi ibig sabihin, may mucus covering yon. Okay? Para nagfa-facilitate yon ng defecation. Now, if it is highly fibrous or dry, such as in animals that have IBS, inflammatory bowel syndrome, or yung super dry fecal material such as common sa cats, kaya minsan nahihirapan sila mag-defecate. So nawawala yung goblet cells, nagkakaroon ng inflammation. Okay? So dapat ganito ang magiging itsura ng isang large intestines, marami siyang goblet cell. Each of these are goblet cells. Okay? Yung spaces na nakikita natin, yan yung mga goblet cells. Okay? Okay? Now, let's move on to the multicellular gland. Yung sinabi ko na nga kanina. Let's go to their adenomeres. Okay? Adenomeres are the secretory units of an exocrine gland. Okay? These are the secretory units of an exocrine gland. So, pwede natin i-classify ang mga adenomeres according to its structure and eventually through its secretion. Diba? Kasi lagi naman, form follows function and function follows form. Okay? So, there are serous adenomeres, mucous adenomeres, and mixed adenomeres. An example of a serous adenomere ay itong exocrine pancreas. Much of this structure na nakikita natin is the exocrine pancreas. Itong mga yan, 'di ba? Ano nga discussion natin sa lecture ng exocrine, serous adenomere, 'di ba? Sila ay secretory units. Makikita mo yung mga nuclei na nasa periphery and halos wala ng lumen na makikita sa loob, such as this exocrine pancreas. Tingnan natin siya in high power objective. As you can see, there okay. So this is an adenomere. May mga nuclei na nasa periphery. And halos wala tayong makitang lumen. Okay? Another example of which is the parotid gland. I think I have shown this already to you. This is an adenomere. Okay? Another adenomere, adenomere, adenomere. And again, wala tayong nakikitang lumen sa gitna ng secretory unit. Okay? So again, the nucleus is found in the periphery of the secretory unit. Now, not all parotid glands have serous secretion. Okay? In horses, they are serous ang kanilang parotid gland, pero sa aso, mucus yun. Okay? So, we might not see the same structure such as this in a human parotid gland. Now, moving on to the mucus. Mucus adenomeres. In a mucous adenomere, makikita natin sila as adenomeres na may malalaking lumen or spaces. And again, hindi sila nag-stain, such as these fundic glands na matatagpuan sa fundic region ng stomach. Okay? This is an adenomere. As you can see, there is a lumen and there is a faint staining nuclei. Okay? Faint staining nuclei, and there is a larger lumen on these adenomeres. Okay? So, again, mucoid ang kanyang secretion, and if it is mucoid, ibig sabihin, hindi siya mag-stain or lightly staining yung structures na yun. So again, this is found in the fundic stomach of animals. Moving on now to the mixed adenomere. In mixed adenomeres, makikita natin siya is as a combination of a mucoid adenomere or mucous adenomere and a serous adenomere. Okay? So much ang nakikita natin sa illustration sa low power objective nito is also a mucous adenomere. So you can see malaki ang lumen, lightly staining yung cells. Okay? But kung titingnan natin siya sa high power objective, may ilang I really hope na na-appreciate ninyo sa video na to yung light staining na adenomere. As you can see, may ma-appreciate pa kayo dito. Kung titingnan nyo siya using your own microscope, makikita nyo pa yung outline ng cell. Pero again, hindi nag-stain yung cell itself dahil nga sa secretion, sa nature ng kanyang secretion. Okay? Now, in some cells here, may makikita tayong serous-like cells. In some adenomeres, may makikita tayong serous-like na cells. Ang tawag natin doon ay serous demilunes. Naghanap tayo ng magandang serous demilunes. Such as these. Okay? This is a high power objective. So this is one mixed mucous adenomere. Then meron tayo nakikita dito sa periphery ng cell na mga serous demilunes. Another one here at the other side at another adenomere. Okay? So these are the serous demilunes. Kung makikita nyo, kagaya dun sa kanina sa pancreas and sa parotid, kapag serous adenomere, darkly staining ang mga cells na nagsisecrete ng serous secretion. Okay? Nag-stain yung kanilang cytoplasm versus that of the mucous adenomere, hindi nag-stain ang kanilang cytoplasm. Okay? So that is the mixed adenomere. Now, we can also classify these glands according to their structure, according to their ductal pattern. Okay, so they may be classified as simple or compound glands. Simple or compound glands. Kapag sinabi siyang simple, ibig sabihin, one secretory unit would have one duct, or there is only one duct for all of the secretory units versus that of a compound gland. Maraming ducts ang nabubuo from the different secretory units. Okay? Now, let's observe a very simple straight tubular gland. Let's observe the jejunum of an animal. So this is a jejunum. Again, nakikita pa rin natin yung epithelia. Now this uses a different type of stain, and nakikita natin na nag-stain ang goblet cells. Pero ang i-observe natin dito ay yung kanyang mga crypts of the jejunum. Now this crypts is also known as the crypts of Lieberkühn. Nasa inyo ng handout ang spelling ng crypts of Lieberkühn. So these crypts are actually a straight tubular gland. So you can see here, these are the villi na makikita natin sa luminal margin ng cell, ng organ, and here are the crypts, yung nasa baba. So you can see it is straight. It is a straight duct. Okay? So itong crypts, sila yung nagproproduce ng new epithelia na magpapalit dito sa villi. Okay? As the columnar epithelium is being sloughed off eventually, and again, sila epithelia na doon sila sa wear and tear regions ng body, napapalitan siya ng new cells na makikita sa mga crypts. Okay? So pataas yan ng pataas. If this is again the villi, maakyat yung new columnar epithelia para mapalitan siya. In cases of parvoviral infection, ang nangyayari, ang tinatira ng parvovirus is yung high mitotic cells na makikita sa crypts of Lieberkühn. So dyan siya pumupunta, tinitira niya yan, namamatay ang crypts, kaya eventually nag-slough off yung mucosa, yung epithelia, at walang pumapalit. Hence, yung parvoviral infection leads to a mucoid diarrhea and eventually a bloody diarrhea. Kasi wala na yung epithelia, napapalitan siya ng blood. Kasi hindi nare-renew yung cells sa villi ng animal. Okay, so that is the crypts of Lieberkühn. It is found in the jejunum. Ang dami niyan sa jejunum. Okay? Moving on now to the simple coiled tubular gland. Simple coiled tubular gland. Let's observe the skin. A very good example of a tubular gland is the sweat glands. Okay? Para equate lamang tayo, makita lamang natin kung nasaan yung tissue. So the skin, napakita ko na sa inyo yan, that is this keratinized stratified squamous epithelium. Okay? So that is the thick skin, yung palm natin. Now, di ba, minsan, namamawis yung ating palm. Kasi may mga sweat glands din dyan. So these are the sweat glands. Okay? So meron siyang mga secretory units, and here are the tubular duct. Okay? Ba't ganyan do ang tsura? Di ba? Again, if we have a duct, coiled siya, so random ang pagkakakat, ang lalabas na itsura ay ganyan. Okay? Guys, one pro tip when observing or doing your histology laboratory is use Eroschenko, or the De Fiores Atlas of Histology by Eroschenko, Victor Eroschenko. Okay? Kasi makikita, pwede natin siyang gamitin na guide. Hindi yan ang inyong drawing, gamitin niyo lamang siyang guide. Ito, for example, this is a duct or a gland or a hollow object. Kaya ganito ang magiging itsura niya, magiging random kung siya ay coiled kapag na-section siya. Diba? So, magtingin tayo ng isang sweat gland. So these are the epithelia. Ito yung mga sinasabi ko sa inyong goblet cells. They would occur or be seen as spaces or white spaces interspersed with the epithelia. Maglabas tayo dito ng this bladder, ng coiled. Yun. This is already a skin. Eto, this is now a coiled tubular exocrine gland such as the sweat glands. Okay? So, ganyan ang itsura niyan. Guys, drawing lamang yan ni Eroschenko. Okay? So, kaya magiging ganyan ang itsura ng ating sections. So, this is the section. As you can see, this is the duct and this is the secretory units of the sweat glands. Okay? Again, matatagpuan siya beneath the skin itself. So that is the skin. Okay? Ito yung free space. Okay? So this is the stratum corneum of the skin. Okay? Malinaw. So again, a simple coiled tubular gland. Now, let's move on to a simple branch tubular gland. Simple branch tubular gland. Let's use the duodenum. So again, narito tayo sa mucosa ng duodenum. Looking at its glandular portion, may makikita tayong tubular branched. A branched tubular gland, such as these. So you can see, ito ang secretory units niya sa baba. Then, we have the one tube and another tube exiting to a singular duct. Okay? Again, kagaya nito, as you can see, ang haba ng tube. This one, two. Okay? Makikita yan sa duodenum. Okay? Coiled tubular gland. A simple branch tubular gland. Tingnan natin yung drawing ni De Fiore. So this again, this is a simple branch tubular exocrine gland. Ang ginamit niya ay section ng stomach. Okay? Moving on now to the branch alveolar or acinar gland. Now, kapag sinabing alveolar, so imbes na tube, bilog-bilog siya. So, tingnan natin yung drawing ni De Fiore. So, such as this. Compound na yan. Wala siyang drawing ng sa branch alveolar gland. So, ibig sabihin, isang duct, then marami siyang alveoli. Bilog-bilog siya. Okay? One example is the sebaceous gland. Let's observe a sebaceous gland, again, in the skin. Okay? Cat skin. Dito tayo sa medyo gitna para medyo may kulay pa siya. Okay? So, sebaceous gland, kadalasan makikita siya sa malapit sa hair follicle. Okay? Kaya nga, di ba, smooth and shiny yung hair like mine. Dahil yon dun sa mga sebaceous gland. Sebaceous gland, ang secretion niya is of course oil gland. Oil. Okay? Kaya nga other term sa sebaceous gland is an oil gland. So, let's look at it in a low power objective. So this is a hair follicle, and as you can see, there is a sebaceous gland that is near to it or attached to it. A secretion is being secreted or deposited in the roots of this hair. Tingnan natin siya para makita natin yung secretory portion niya. The problem here is may artifact na hindi na nakuha, hindi nakasama sa pagkakat, sa pagsasection ng skin, yung katabi niyang acinar gland. But here, this is one alveolus of the sebaceous gland. Makikita natin yung faint structure ng secretory cells niya. Okay. Medyo makapal yung pagkakakat ng cell. Kaya maraming layer ng cells pa tayo na kikita. Okay? So again, that is the sebaceous gland. And this is the hair follicle it supplies. Okay? So that is the simple glands. Okay? Again, secretory units, one duct. Versus that of another ductal pattern, those are the compound glands. In a compound gland, there are secondary ducts that is draining towards a primary duct, such as that of the mammary gland. It is a compound acinar gland. So this, the main duct, the primary duct. Then as you can see, meron siyang secondary duct na nagsusupply towards the primary ducts. Let us observe a mammary gland. Now, under scanner, makikita na natin yung individual alveoli. So, each of these spaces containing something doon sa gitna. This is an active mammary gland. So that those are actually the milk that is being produced by the gland. Okay? That is the apical region, apical secretion ng mammary gland. Okay? Milk is actually being produced by an apocrine secretion. Apocrine, ibig sabihin yung top portion ng cells ay nadedetach o natatanggal siya, yung nagiging milk. Such as those. So those are the naproproduce na milk in a mammary gland. Each of those spaces are the acini. Tingnan natin siya under high power objective. Okay, so those are the cells producing the milk. Okay, so you can see this is the adenomers, the secretory portion of the acini. Okay, the alveoli of the mammary gland. Okay, now kung again tingnan natin siya sa much lower objective, bilog-bilog yung kanyang acini. So wala tayong makitang tubular structure na may lamang milk. Okay, so ibig sabihin siya ay isang alveolar or acinar gland. Let's compare it to a tubular, a compound tubular gland. A good example is the testes. Sa gilid para kitang-kita natin siya ay mga tubes. So, under scanner, mapapansin natin na may mga darkly staining nuclei inside a more or less a tubular structure. Those tubular structures are actually the seminiferous tubules of the testes. And ano nga ba makikita sa inside these seminiferous tubules? The developing spermatozoa. So yun yung nasisekrete nitong testes. So there are layers of cells. Yung older cells ay matatagpuan sa periphery, the newer cells matatagpuan sa gitna. Okay? So again, this is an outline of a seminiferous tubules. Each of these tubules would have a secretory duct ending in the rete testis na may connection naman papunta na sa epididymis. Okay? So this is again a compound tubular organ. And finally, a compound tubulo-alveolar gland. A compound tubulo-alveolar gland. So such as this submaxillary gland. This is again a salivary gland. As you can see, much of it is composed of mucoid adenomere or mucous adenomeres. Then as you can see, may mga alveolar ang structure. Meron din mga tubular ang kanyang secretory portions. So ito yung kanyang secretory ducts. Paano natin ma-appreciate kung alin yung duct at saka alin yung acini or yung tubular, yung mga ducts such as this. Kikita natin na cuboidal ang kanyang epithelium. Versus this, sila yung secretory ducts, secretory units, adenomeres. Tingnan natin siya a high power objective. Again, there is a faint outline of the cell. Diba? This is more or less tubular. This is again a acinar. And this is a duct. So most likely this small one, this is a secondary duct which gives off its secretion to a primary duct, yung mas larger ducts of the submaxillary. Okay, so those are the glands and the organs that contain them. So let's get on working. See ya, kids.